Hey guys, today we're going to be making a video on texturing in Blender. So we're going to be using one of the models we made, that is the last phone we made. Okay, let me open the last phone. So this was the last phone we made, but now it's already textured. So this is what our end product is going to be looking like this. Okay, let me on that screen. Let me. Okay, so our end product is going to be looking like this, and let's get started. So first, you're going to open a new don't save. We're going to open a new folder, and I'll just be making that same model again, just the phone. So if you can follow me, in case you don't follow me in the last video I made on episode 1, how to make Blender course episode 1. So we made a phone there, so you can just follow me in this one, although I will not be going into the basics I started with in the last course. So if you're just starting Blender from the beginning, you want to know what I'm controlling, how I'm rotating this view, you can go to that video and start it from the beginning to show you all that. So now let's go straight into edit mode and change this object into a phone. So yeah, so scale along Z axis. Okay, scale it along the y-axis. I scaled along the y-axis by 2, so it's just like 1 by 2. Yes, so you can make it however slim you want. So next, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be beveling these edges. But before I bevel the edges, I need to change it to transparent mode, change it to edge select. So go to edge select, then zoom this in. Okay, for me this phone is too slim, so let's get along the z-axis again by 2. Yes, select all the edges I want to bevel. Yes, so then you go to bevel, or you can use Control B, but rather going to bevel most times and say 5 here. Change the offset to 5, then you can just bevel this as you want, but most times I use Control B and I bevel. I use 0.2. yes, 0.2 just gives me what I want. So you can use 0.2 in your own, you can use something higher. So next, what we're going to do is insert this face. So what I'm going to do is go to face select, then you say Alt Z, so you can go out of transparent mode, select the face, you insert it by saying I, you insert it to whatever you want, but I use 0.02. yes, so it's pretty small. Yes, so because I want it to be almost the whole screen. So now that will form the screen of our phone. Next I want to do is to make the place for the charging port. Yeah, so where you can charge your phone. Going to loop cut, select that over there. Now you're going to drag this a little closer, and drag the other one a little closer, just to the middle right there. Or you can just do it systematically, you can loop cut it until you have the perfect center over there. So but mine, I just do it randomly depending on your taste. Then what you're going to do next is you're going to loop cut again to find a particular center here, but we'll change this to 2 so it can give us something a little perfect. Yes, so we'll loop cut like this. Now we have that center over there. Well, if you don't want to use this method, you can use another method where you can just insert it. So I'll be using that method, insert. So I'm going to go to my face select, Then select these two faces over here. You say I to insert. You insert it to whatever you want. I use 0.007, which is okay for me. You can go further if you want. You can say 0. Yeah, you can go further if you want. So just insert it. Then what you're going to do next is you're going to make a loop cut just at that point. You're going to make a loop cut and drag it down inside like that, like so. So next, what you're going to do, let me zoom it over there. So go back to face select. Sorry, not face select. I need edge select points. No, I'm using points. Yes, so you're going to bevel that. Okay, that won't work well. So instead of just beveling the points, you bevel edges, not points. Sorry, that's my mistake. So what we're going to do is go to face select. You select these two faces. You extrude it inside, and you're going to extrude it by you can extrude it by 0.05 if you want. Sorry, I say minus 0.05 in my own. Okay, that's inside. So yes, wow, I think that's okay. You can still take it inside by saying G. Now I've extruded G, Y, move along the Y axis just a little bit. Yes, and I think that's okay for me. Well, now you can go back to your edge select. Then you can select the edges that you want to bevel by holding on Shift. Then you say Ctrl B. So I can bevel those edges like so, and that is just what I want. So we have it like that. So next, what we're going to do is to go to this other parts here. You can just make the buttons over here using the same loop cut, or you can make them as separate objects. So I'll be making mine as a separate object. So I go to tab to swap to my edit of my object mode. You can hit your x axis, as mine is on the x axis at this particular point. So you can say Shift right click to move your cursor to that point, so that whenever you add any object, it goes to that same point. So you say add object, add cube. Then you go to your Z, looking from your Z axis. You zoom this in the edit mode. After this up to edit mode, you can see it over here. So you scale this down, scale it down to whatever you want, but I'm going to use 0.06. yes, as my scaling for now. Then you can see scale it according to your y-axis. Scale it on the y-axis by 2. Yes, and you have the perfect button size for y-axis. Then you can scale it along your z-axis. Scale it along your z-axis. I just do a random scaling till I think is good for me, so I just scale it down like that. So you're going to start with one button first. Then when you're done with editing this first button, you can duplicate it. You duplicate using Shift D. So Shift D is for duplicating, so you can duplicate it like so. Then you go to tab, you go to, now if you're going to go to modifier, you go to this icon over here that looks like a spanner. You click on the icon, you say add modifier. Then you go to modifier properties, go to subdivision. As you can see, this looks like it's making it smooth and round. Well, you can fix that by just going into edit mode. You see that your box is still there, but it's just because it's subdividing it, so it's looking more circular. So I changed this subdivision level to level 2. I didn't say that in the initial stage. So you can just add a loop cut here. Add another loop cut over there. So Now I'm going to add two loop. Wait, that added two loop cuts already. So let me just. I was meant to add the two loop cuts here. So you add two loop cuts like this. Then instead of moving it normally, you say scale. So you scale it so it goes apart from each other. Scale it along your y-axis, and you see it's scaling. It's moving towards the edges. Then when it's just good for you, you click it, and yeah, that's what you have there. So now this is when you're going to get another loop cut again, but this one, the number of cuts will be 1. Then you cut it here. Let me shift it a little bit more. Yeah, so I think that's okay. Yes, and that button just looks right. So next we're going to look at it and check for the positioning. Is it okay there? No, it's too up. It's looking too high. Looking from the phone I have on my hand, I think this is quite high. If you can just move it a little bit down. So go to tab, say A to select everything. You say G and move it along your y-axis. Move it down. Sorry, I'm making it too fast, but I just want to rush into the texturing. So I've moved it down a little. You can decide to move this button in because it's looking as if it's plunging out too much. So you can say GX. I move it along your x-axis inwards, and the button is just in. So next, what you're going to do is you're going to say Shift D. When you say Shift D, you can move it. It's already in your grab state, so you can just align the movements by saying Y. You move it along your y-axis. Yes. So you take down up a little. So that is your two volume buttons there. You can say Shift D again. You move it along your y-axis and take it down. So if you want this power button to be separate from this other one, so you can just say you can just press P. That's the shortcut. So when you press P, you see this drop down menu here. It says separate, you say selection, you see by material, you see by loose parts. So you go to selection, separate by selection. So you see it's already separate like this, like so. So I don't want to do that, although yes, we're still in edit mode, so you can just go into object mode like this, and they are two separate objects. So I just say Ctrl Z. I want them to be together. I don't want it separate. Okay, so now I think I've just done the basic part of this phone. You can decide to add your volume button using the same method we used initially. Not volume, sorry. You can add your earpiece inputs. So let me just do that for you. Let me just show you how to do that. Not do that for you anyway. Show you how to do that. So you make a loop cut here. You bring another one closer. Then you're going to insert this face over here. So go to face select. You click on that face. You insert I. You take it a little like this. Sorry, I. Yes, so I have it there just like that. So I'm going to take that in. You say G, sorry, not G, E to extrude. So extrude, take it in. Or like say you can add it, do an addition. You can take it in like this, extrude. So you say E to extrude. You extrude that just in. You can check the length however you want it deep. You can make it like that, like so. So you're going to go back to your edge select. Then you're going to select the edges you want or you need. I just need the 4 corners over there. Yeah, so I have the 4 corners now. So you say Ctrl B and it bevels it. So I'm not going to complete that beveling over there. So I just want it like this. So but there's something I forgot to do. Before you bevel, you need to loop cut, because we're going to we're going to do what is called smooth shade for this object, and I don't want a case where you want to smooth shade and it's looking awkward. So I'm going to do that beveling again after I added the loop cut over there. Remember, you're meant to be holding shift, then do the loop cut. So you see this phone is more detailed than the last one I made in the last video. This video is meant to be coming out earlier, but due to some difficulties and some issues with the editing, it couldn't come out yesterday, that is being Wednesday. Okay, so I'm going to say Ctrl B, bevel this. So I'll just make sure that the beveling just ends right there. Yes. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to say scale, and I'm going to scale this along my x-axis. It's going to bring this together. Up. It's not coming together so much. Yes, just like so. So let me scale it a little bit small. Okay. Okay, that is okay there. So this is the way you can do it. There's another way you can do it by using the Boolean modifier. This modifier over here, but I'm not going to be showing that now. I'll be showing that towards the end. So for now we'll just be doing this. Okay, so that is it. You can, okay, this is what we're going to just be doing for now. So now we can now start the adding of materials. So let's go to our material view here. See this button, see where my cursor is. You look at my tools. So that is the major thing, not just watching the video, just look at the tools that I'm choosing. So I've selected my, you see it's already highlighted with blue, so it's in my material view, material preview. Yes, so now let me go to my material properties over here with my phone selected. You see this is the default material that was given to it. I'm going to change this default material to red because I wanted it to be a red phone. I don't know, the red looks sharp. So now I'm going to go to my metallic properties, increase the metallic properties to 1. Yes, I want it to have that dark metallic property, and I'm going to reduce the roughness so that it looks pretty cool. Yes, so this is now for the screen. You go into your edit mode, you select the screen, make sure your face select is on so that you can select just the face. Then you go up, you press this plus button in your material properties. You see a new material is given to you. You say plus, then you say assign, so you can assign this highlighted part to this new material. So when you say assign, you see it's already changed color already. So next what we're going to do is going to go to this part over here. You see this red dot over here in your base color. You're going to click on it. You're going to go to image textures. This if you have an image for your phone, or else you can just make it to be black. Default color is black. You can add a black color like this, or if you don't have a black color, let me go to my image. If you don't have a black color like that, you can, if you have a picture to add, you can just go to your where your picture is. I have a picture for the phone screen, and yes, this is the picture. So I open it. So now this is how the picture looks like first, because of what is known as the UV editor, let's say the UV map. Yes, the UV mapping of this particular part of the phone. So before I show you that, we just add a few more textures to the other parts, and that is for this part in here. You select those parts. Okay, just make sure I select enough to make it look good. I might not be selecting all in this. Okay, I'm just selecting all. Yeah, so almost done. And yes, so I've gotten the whole part. So just like we did for the screen, you're going to add a new material for this side. You say add, click on that plus button, you say new, and you say assign. Now we're going to be changing this color to black because that side is going to be obviously black. Yeah, black. We're not going to be doing anything to the metallic properties. Or are we? I'm just going to increase it a little. I want it to be very dark. Now for the roughness, you leave it at 0.5. I think that's just enough roughness. You click on this face again, that is for the phone, so that we can adjust that, because this picture is not complete. That's not just what we added. So you can say tab. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into UV editing over here. You can see it. Click on it and you can see the phone screen over here. So I'm going to go into my material view for this. You see, I just moved that to the side. I'm going to go into my material preview. Let me adjust everything back as it was. So now to make this to have the same shape, because this is the screen, obviously this is the screen, and you see it's looking so shapeless here. So it's just say U. Once you just say U, it's automatically UV unwrap it. So this is a new map for that screen. You see it's looking just the same way it's looking over here. So you can just scale it up. You can scale it along your x-axis. You say A, scale along the x-axis, then you move it along the x-axis there, so it can just capture everything as we're seeing here. Yes, so we just have everything there. We don't need the rest. So yes, this our phone is now looking on point. So next is for these buttons. We want to give these buttons some material. So we say new material. We say, yeah, we leave it at white. In fact, we increase it. Why we're increasing it is because it gets darker by the time we add the metallic property. So it's going to be somehow ash in color. If you zoom this in, you see it's already looking ash. Yes, you reduce the roughness and it now looks like metal. Yes, that's metallic feel. So yes, this is it. Although that is not just all what we're going to do. We're going to add one more thing. We're going to say smooth shade. So you right click on this object on your phone and see the shade smooth over here. Yes, when you say shade smooth, you see your phone is just looking classic. It's looking good, and that is how you do your texturing. And we just completed a phone. So I'm going to be rendering this now. But before we render, there's a little issue with this screen over here. If you notice, the screen is upside down, and we don't want that to be so. So what we're going to just do to adjust that is go back to your UV editing. With all of this highlighted, you say scale, then you say -1. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake. I tapped the wrong thing. Scale -1. So I'm going to check this to see if it actually works. Okay, no, it didn't. Scale -1. Yes, so it has worked already. So I pressed maybe 2 or so it didn't scale well. So now this is it, and everything is looking well. So now we have a phone. Everything is there. So for the Boolean I told you I was going to add, you can add, but sometimes it affects this smooth shade, and that's why I don't add it. So for this Boolean, what you're going to do is let's just bring the cursor to that point. I want to just add a little cylinder there. So you're going to add a cylinder, scale it down. I don't mind scaling it in the object mode for Boolean, because this is the object we're going to use to make the hole. So you're going to rotate your cylinder along the x-axis 90, so it's lying down to form that hole. I can scale it. I say shift Y, so you scale along the Z and the x-axis. You scale it to be really small. So I just want to make that tiny looking hole over there. Say GZ, move it around that side. Yes, so I can just say Boolean. You can tap on the object you want to make the hole on, which is the phone. You go to your modifier, you say add modifiers, you add Boolean. Make sure that the difference is on. Yes, you can see it over here. It's on by default. You click on this eyedropper, you go to whatever you want. I see when you just change to cylinder, you click on it. Yes, I see there is this depression around here. Why is because this is actually it's actually making a hole right there, and the smooth shade is going to be affected. So that's why I wanted to use this other method over here as we did for this one. So but I think we just do a little fixing for that one. So once we say apply, although I really do not want to apply that, so you can just delete this, and you see you have a hole over there. If you go to your edit mode, let me go to edit. First I'm going to shade flat first of all, then I go to edit mode, and you see you have that hole over there. So you see what causes it? It's just adds it, and in order to align it with the other part of the body, it just makes this line from over here to this midpoint. So you can just add a, you see it's making it difficult to add something over there. So you can add a loop cut around here. You can add another loop cut just around here. Then you can use a knife to cut through. Let's go to number 1. You can just use a knife. To cut through to this point, and I say enter. Wait. So if you want to cut inside that hole, you can say Z, and it cuts it all through. You say enter, and we have that cutting passing through both sides. So next, what you're going to just do is go to select. You select this, go to edge select, select these edges and delete them. Oh, that's a mistake. Dissolve it. So now we have this passing through there. So even at that, we cannot still add something here, but I think it's just help our smooth shade just a little bit. So it just helps it, as I said, just a little bit, but it's still going to have that depression there. So if you don't want this to happen in your own, you can just use the normal method I used here, but working on something that small is not going to really work good. So if you know you're not going to be using the smooth shade for your work, you can just do it that way, because if I shade flat, you see that we have no problem with that over there. Yes, we have no problem. You see the hole is just right there on its own, working well. So you can just say Z, and we go back and undo everything that we just did for that side. I don't want that hole to be there. No, I just like my phone as it is. So now this is just our phone with all its texturing and everything. Thanks for watching. Yeah. And next video, as I said, is going to be coming out on Wednesday, next Wednesday. So thank you, like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching.